Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. This is Connor from Futures Analytica bringing you guys another live trading session. We're going to jump right into it by switching it into regression here because of this pretty obvious regression channel. You're going to notice that we do have pretty high entropy as well, which is going to keep us inside of regression mode for at least the time being. There's our first trade. We got filled long here. By the way, guys, we do have the 16 tick take profit in this one, up from the 14 in our last video. Unfortunately, we're starting out the day with a loss. That brings us down to 359.26 negative. Looks like we get filled long again here. Had some better luck that trade, up to 111.48 now. Hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's, by the way. I certainly did. Nice and pleasant evening. There we go. Just got filled long, and we won that trade pretty quickly. There we go, filled short here. And we lost that trade. Sorry guys, I was just fixing something on the website that had to be updated. Here we get a long fill. So if we lose this trade, we're going to be switching it into trend mode. That's because it's going to be outside of the range, and that's going to confirm a mode switch. But if we win, we're keeping it in regression. Unfortunately, there's another loss for us. We're going to be switching it into trend mode. Even if it immediately re-enters this range, we're not going to immediately switch back to regression. We're going to give it some time and wait for more confirmation. We get filled short here. Wow, not really starting the new year strong here, guys, but that's okay. We're going to keep trying. Definitely a tough day to trade. You can see here we've maintained this range, and we're going to be keeping it inside of regression mode as our previous decision. Hi Connor, in situations like that where we lost those trades, don't you think arming only long or short will help force the trade in the direction we see/want? Yes, absolutely. If you have a direction that you are looking for the strategy to enter and you're just looking for timing, absolutely, I highly recommend doing selective long/short arming. I haven't done that in quite a while just because I've been using regression/trend only, and haven't been touching that very much at all. But I do recommend that if you have the opportunity and you see a reason to do so. And there we go. There is a win. It was a short trade, and we got filled on that pretty quickly there. Hopefully we can get back into this pretty quickly. You can see there, I do believe I had made a blunder by switching into trend. I had completely ignored these two very, very large and recent imbalance zones that were automatically marked by the AC4+. In starting the stream, I didn't really do much research in looking back to see when those levels were, so I didn't have much context on that. But a viewer did point that out in the Q&A forum, so thank you for letting me know about that one. There we go. Now we're in the green, up to 250.92 on the day. It was a long trade, and we ended up winning that one. Also, guys, hope you guys are enjoying the newest update. We are going to be sending out another one later today. This is going to include some bug fixes along with a prepackaged model. And guys, if your heuristic parameter optimization is not activating on your end, make sure you have unchecked use prepackaged model, or if you do have a prepackaged model installed, add an ADX to your chart. At the end of the day, I will take high volatility and not a very high win rate over just no trades. So it is nice that we're actually getting filled. Also, speaking of the new year, we do have that New Year's 24% off sale going until the end of the day today. To answer your question, you don't need to install any indicators on your chart if you use the prepackaged model. Of course, you do have to perform the setup and installation like normal, but other than that, no. Wow, that trade's going to end up in a loss, back to zero today. Not our best day to trade, but that's okay. We're just going to keep playing the numbers game, and eventually we have to regress to the mean, which would be our pretty high win rate. So I would see that we're pretty likely to get a string of wins in the near future. go long fill. I guess we do deserve this because we didn't lose a single trade in the last trading session we did. Up to 437 on the day now. Very nice. Just got filled short here. Still inside regression mode, by the way. There we go. There is another win. Up to 923 on the day, which is above our highest drawdown today, surprisingly. Even though we lost so many trades today, we're not doing too bad at all. If you guys are looking for just a pretty good, reasonably priced VPS server near the CME, to answer your question, Srini, I'd check out Speedy Trading Servers. I've heard really, really good things about them, and in the past I have personally used them, and they do get really fast connection speeds. So I would go and read some reviews on them and make a decision based on that. But I'm not affiliated with them, and I don't get any commission from that. But it's just an all-around good company. So. Also, guys, getting a good machine learning model is much less dependent on picking good indicators now. You're going to want to be utilizing that incremental learning feature, which is going to optimize on the fly based off of your decisions. Initially, you may see less than optimal results, but over time, those will significantly improve very quickly. Just make sure that you're trading with your decisions and you're actually making decisions that you would make in terms of trend and regression selection, as described in the guidebook. Now we're starting to get some steam here, ended up winning a few trades in a row, up to $1,800 on the day. You can see there, even if you have a rough start, of course, don't overtrade. If you're on a pretty big drawdown streak, I would stop trading for the day. But you can see there, we had a pretty reasonable loss in the beginning of $500, and we're stuck around that level for quite a bit. but we stuck with it, just kept trading to our strategy, didn't get tripped up, especially with the mistakes that we had made earlier with that preemptive trend selection there. You just got to keep pushing through it, and don't get tripped up by your past mistakes. That's correct. The angry cube. Trades are taken by Polarity to teach it. So basically, you would just be teaching it by trading it normally by switching in between trend and regression, arming and disarming. And whenever you'd lose a trade, it would learn from that. And whenever you'd win a trade, it would learn from that. It would reinforce good habits and bad habits, and de-incentivize bad habits. By the way, the Angry Cube, I'm not sure if your email is in reference to Cube World, but that is a classic game that I very much enjoyed growing up. But yeah. And yes, guys, you can use the incremental learning in playback and it will work correctly. Also, guys, I'm sorry, I don't have my executions window up. There we go. And just for transparency's sake, just going to move around the chart trader a little bit here, just so you guys can see that this is in fact not an overlay. Just got filled short here, and we got that auto chase on the stop loss pretty quickly there. Almost got stopped out of that trade there, but we're still in it. I'm glad we didn't, because we ended up getting filled on that. A little bit close there, but now we're up to 2,350. Mark, my strategy does not automatically rearm when auto arm is off. I'm just clicking the arm both button, or I'm just using the hotkeys for that. Also, guys, again, please remember that just an example of this happening was when I made this mistake back here earlier in the day where I switched to trend mode even though I wasn't supposed to. These live streams aren't supposed to serve as a time to where you should immediately copy what I'm doing. It's not about that, and in doing so, that puts a lot of pressure on me initially. It's much easier to, for example, I'd be able to explain that that was not supposed to happen after, and you'd be able to see that video and you'd be able to learn from that. You'd be able to learn from why I do mode switches, even with the mistakes that I make. But there, if you'd been following along, you would have been in the wrong mode. So once again, guys, I am human, and that's exactly why these streams are not meant to be a follow along type of deal. And yeah, if you do get a new computer, it is likely that your machine ID did change. Just email us with that new machine ID, and we'll transfer over your license for free. Yeah. Yeah, If your heuristic parameter optimization isn't showing up, that likely means that you are not in optimized mode in your strategy settings. Just got filled short here. And we ended up winning that trade pretty quickly, up to 3,200 on the day now. And yeah, guys, we are working on releasing more, documentation on the new revision, which is going to be released in the new update that's coming out later today, which you will receive an email on pretty soon. Ended up losing that trade, unfortunately, but that's okay. We just got filled short here. If we end up winning this trade, we are going to be switching it into trend because we don't have anything below. At least not for a while. Let's check this out. Yeah, this is a very, very old level anyway. But if we win this trade, that's going to be what we're doing. Yeah, so we won that trade, switching it into trend there. I'm going to try and catch a breakdown if it does end up happening. If you guys are curious what my derived zone filter values are, check it out in the description. And yes, that is correct. Your RSME/R2 value is not as important as the training the machine learning does yourselves with incremental learning. So with that being said, I do suggest trying to optimize it to a reasonable level, at least with RSME below 20 and your R squared above 0.5. But after that, you are very, very it is recommended to just start trading normally and have your incremental learning enabled. Just got filled short here. Let's see if we can get a win here. Right back down to our zero line after that stop chase, so win rate's pretty low at this point. Yeah, unfortunately that trade ended up not working out, so it happens. Hey Earthstem, yes, absolutely, you can use a funded account through TopStep or Apex to use the trading software. If you guys are curious about Apex's rules against automated trading software, the PolarityATI is not included within that umbrella. That rule is specifically targeting people who are doing latency arbitrage and news arbitrage, which would go against their policies and would basically allow you to get take advantage of them in ways that wouldn't work with real markets. So that's what that rule's about. But I have confirmed with them that this strategy is compatible with their platforms. Just got filled long here. Pretty solid win there. Textbook trade, leading us to almost 4,000 on the day in profit. Just got filled long here. And to answer your question, if you're using a trade copier in conjunction with Polarity, you won't encounter any issues as long as you don't have the limit orders for entry option enabled. You can run into some compatibility issues with fill timing and whatnot if you do have that option checked. But other than that, you won't encounter that in normal usage. I don't use the limit order feature. That was a user requested feature, but yeah. With the formation of this new green derived zone here, we are going to be watching entropy very, very closely to see if we're going to do a regression switch inside of this small micro zone. If there is going to be chop that's happening inside of this zone, we're going to want to definitely take advantage of that, because tight chop like that is basically a guaranteed alpha right there if we're in regression mode. Like back here, if you were inside of this very, very tight zone way back here, if you were inside of regression mode, there would have been a pretty solid win rate on that one. Here we get filled long. Again, we're going to be watching entropy here. Of course, we're not doing that switch into regression mode yet. But if we bounce off of this red derived zone here, and delta ends up following and going against price, that'll be a confirmation of a regression mode switch. So basically you're looking for a divergence on this bar or the following bars, along with price staying within those zones, or within this zone. you can see that price is staying within the zone, but we don't have that divergence yet. We're going to wait for another bar to confirm whether or not we're going to be inside of regression mode after this. You can see here that derived zone pretty accurately predicted price bouncing off this level here. Yeah, as you can see, I'm glad that we did not do a preemptive switch into regression mode there, especially with price just breaking through this superficial zone there. So keep that in mind, that entropy still is important, even with machine learning. If we win this trade, that should be our profit target, but we may end up continuing trading if we can keep getting opportunities like this. Pretty solid, ended up winning that trade. Glad we stayed in trend mode for that. Guys, I think we're going to end up calling it here at 5,100. That is our profit target of $5,000 in a session. So I think that's a pretty good way to end it, especially with how we started. It was a little bit of a weaker start there, but ended up pulling through. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I wish you a Happy New Year. Again, we do have that New Year's sale going on till the end of the day today. So if you're interested in checking out anything, it's a site-wide sale. So everything on our site is 24% off with code NY24. So check that out if you're interested.